I want to start with a myth you've probably heard. The Nazca Lines were made so aliens could see them from space. Fun idea. Also wrong. Here's the fact. They were made by people. Skilled, organized, ingenious people. Between about 200 BCE and 600 CE on a high desert plateau in southern Peru. The how isn't magic, it's geology. The desert is coated in dark, rusty pebbles. Scrape those aside and you expose the pale ground beneath. No chisels, no concrete, just lines, cleared a few centimeters deep, that can stretch for kilometers. So why are they still here? The Nazca Desert is one of the driest places on Earth. Almost no rain, little wind. The sun bakes the stones, forming a protective varnish. Once the lines were drawn, the climate basically pressed pause on erosion for 2 millennia. But the real enigma is the why. Myth. They're giant star maps, alien runways. Fact. The story looks more human and more interesting. Many lines form trapezoids and runways, not for aircraft but for people. Archaeologists have found footprints and offerings along the paths. These weren't pictures to look at. They were places to move through. Think processions. Rituals. Imagine walking a perfectly straight line toward a mountain, carrying offerings for water or fertility in a land where water is everything. Some lines do line up with solstice sunrises or certain stars. But statistically, in a web of hundreds of lines radiating in all directions, a few alignments are inevitable. The pattern that holds up best is ritual landscapes, connected to water sources, aquifers, sacred mountains, and those famous figures, hummingbird, monkey, spider, so-called astronaut with big eyes. These likely had symbolic roles. Animals linked to rain, crops, myth. The astronaut probably isn't a spaceman at all, but a stylized human figure waving, perched on a slope where people could actually see it from the ground. Which brings me to another myth. You can only see the Nazca Lines from the sky. Not true. Ancient viewers could climb surrounding foothills and ridges. From there, figures and trapezoids snap into view. Airplanes just made the spectacle obvious to modern eyes. In the 1920s, pilots and researchers started mapping them. Later, Maria Rika spent decades measuring, protecting, and publicizing the geoglyphs. Today, drones and AI are still finding new lines, hundreds of them. Some so faint they were missed for a century. The scale tells me something profound. Coordination. The Nazca people laid out dead straight lines using simple surveying, stakes ropes sighting along horizons. You don't need lasers to build precision, you need patience and purpose. So here's my take. The Nazca Lines aren't a message to the stars, they're a message to the future that says, in a harsh world, community and meaning can etch themselves into the earth and last. And that's more awe-inspiring than any UFO theory. If you ever visit, respect the site. The same climate that preserves can't repair damage. Footprints and tire tracks don't fade. Human hands made these lines, and human hands can erase them. Mystery? Sure. But the people behind it aren't a mystery at all. They were us, curious, creative, and determined to be seen.